Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile video leading into 3.16 Scourge League. And I wanted to make a couple of videos talking about specific stuffs because I don't want them to be baked into a big video, because a lot of people will be asking about this topic specifically, which is the Syndicate, Operatives, and the other topic is the future of minions. I've decided to split this into two videos, so I will leave a link in the description below whenever it's ready for a video to me talking about the future of the other minions. But in this one, we're going to talk about Syndicate Operatives, and I don't want to waste your time, so let's just dive into it. So, this day has been long awaited for. For a very long time, we have been expecting Syndicate Operatives to be fixed. This is not a nerf. Very important to note that this is not a nerf. This is an actual fix. Syndicate Operatives have been the to-go-to choice for Spectres for a very long time, and this is because they have a bug. They have an attack that triggers 3 unique projectile attacks. These 3 can hit one single target per unique cast or attack 3 times, because there's 3 unique attacks happening. This was then abused by adding multiple projectiles to them, so they would shotgun. This is how we managed to make, back in the days, the 500 million shape per DPS build that killed Oshabi in less than a frame. Well, not less than a frame, a frame. So, the Spectres have been receiving a ton of nerfs throughout the league since then, and we have been expecting them to fix the bugs with Syndicate Operatives, and it never happened. During this time, every league, a lot of us prepped up some backup solutions in the form of Heroes Watch Spectres, Slave Drivers, Artless Assassins, RS, and a bunch of other minions, Primal Cross Claws, for example, Baronites, Preachers, and Thaumaturges. There's a long list of backup solutions that we've been prepping for this inevitable day to show. This day has now arrived. But it's not just one hit, it's a double whammy. Classical tradition from GGG. So, I'm just going to read it out. Syndicate Operatives problem. The certain projectiles abilities used by Incursion Architects, Syndicate Operatives, and bosses based on Lunaris have a bug that causes them to hit a target multiple times simultaneously when firing additional projectiles. This is particularly powerful with Syndicate Operative Spectres that have been supported to fire multiple projectiles. The solution is to fix the skill, which prevent the players taking large bursts of damage in maps with additional projectiles. This will also bring Syndicate Operative Spectres more in line with other Spectres. Now, this is the part I don't agree with. So, we've done some extensive testings last night. And this has been something we discussed quite a lot when we looked at backup solutions. To stay in line with the topic here, to not deviate too much. The problem with this is that this completely destroys Syndicate Operative's single target DPS approach. They are absolutely terrible at single targets. And when I say terrible, I mean they're absolutely dog shit. So when they say that this will also bring Syndicate Operative Spectres more in line with other Spectres, I think they're actually correct. Because most other Spectres are completely dog shit. And that means that they're bringing these Spectres down to that level of efficiency. So they're absolutely correct in their statement, which I originally said that they were not really correct there. But they are, because they're bringing it down to being dog shit. So that's the solution, right? So they're correct on that statement. However, Syndicate Operatives will still remain the best Spectres to use for clearing. Yet the single target is completely destroyed. This means that we're going to be reverting back to the good old days. I have a build guide that I've been updating for the past 7 or 8 years now. That is called the Lich Queen. The Lich Queen build is utilized to using Spectres for clearing and using another source of minions for actual single targets. In the Lich Queen's version, that would be skeletons. That build will now be a very good build to play. It's been in the shadows of pure Spectre builds because of the strength of certain minions. The reason that will be the choice rather than just changing the Syndicate Operatives to another type of Spectre is because every single backup solution we had outside of Syndicate Operatives that came somewhat remotely close to being competitive, all of them used elemental conversion, or they had inherited elemental conversion to allow us to utilize elemental equilibrium. The double whammy nerf that GGG is doing, or nerf, I wouldn't say that, but the double whammy that's happening is actually the removal of elemental equilibrium. It has been confirmed since I talked to Chris and Bex that one of the masteries on the skill tree is allowing us to give minions elemental penetration. And I can guarantee you that that elemental penetration is not going to be equivalent to elemental equilibrium. I'd say that if that number is around 2025, that we maybe will be able to use some Spectres such as Heroes Watch, which are basically 30% better versions of Redemption Sentries. We might want to look at Slave Drivers a little bit despite their squishiness, and we might look at Primal Cross Claws and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's not going to be that high. We know that, because a number that high would actually make Skelly Mages one of the best minion builds in the game. So it's not going to be that high. Also, I wasn't able to get a confirmation on the exact numbers, and I was also told that the number is still subject to change, so I don't know. So the result is very simple, that this will be terrible. And spectres like the Frost Auto Scouts and a couple of other spectres that are using pure elemental damage like Stave Drivers or Baronites and stuff like that will be very, very bad because of not having access to Elemental Equilibrium. So what's the solution then?
Hype for this league like no league before.
Thank you, Dark Soul, for the 3 months. Appreciate it. So the solution is very simple. We are going to go back to the good old days where we use spectres for one purpose and use the secondary minion for another purpose. In the good old days, we used the Lich Queen in the form of having 2 Kohama Vanguards as a single target damage dealing spectre. Thank you, Blue Dropper, for the Prime, man. Appreciate it. And they were like one of the best spectres to use a single target, and then we used Mage Skeletons for clearing. That was the worst version of the Lich Queen. The better version of it is the one I have on my build guide, linked in the description. That one used, we had the Solar Guards at one point, but later we've been using Redemption Sentries, and nowadays we've been using Syndicate Operatives to use them for clearing, because they have such an insane clearing capability. Since they're not going to be used as a single target, this allows us to use other support gems, such as not just having GMP, but also potentially Fork or Chain, to make them emphasize on the idea of actual clearing damage. And then for the single target, we're going to use the melee skeletons. This also sparks up the hybrid build with Golemmancer together with Spectres, where you put a focus on your Carrion Golems, or Stone Golems, I prefer Carrion myself, to use the single target damage approach, and have the Syndicate Operatives be the massive clearing approach. Obviously, all of these will go into physical damage rather than elemental conversion, which does mean that the biggest perk defensively of going cold conversion, which was all about shattering and chilling the bone husks, but most importantly, porcupines. This is going to be solved by the simple fact that we're getting a ton of extra defenses in 3.16 Scourge, allowing us to survive these things. So the TLDR is this. Pure Spectres is, in the current state of information that we have, completely terrible. Solution? Go with the Golems or Skeletons as a backup solution. I will have guides for both of these versions on the vault, all the links in the descriptions. And then we're going to just play it like that. It's very simple. And I will have a video coming out soon with the future of minion builds. I'm going to be talking more about the elemental minions versus physical minions in that video, and talk about other minions like Animate Weapon, Dominating Blow, the whole shenanigans, and we're going to go through that in that video. All right, that's all I have for you today with this video with the Syndicate Operatives. Hope you didn't get too upset with not playing pure Spectres anymore, but let me know what you guys feel about these fixes and nerfs in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, because it really helps out the channel. Until next time, stay safe, keep rocking.